Shake that ass, girl! Shake it! Yeah! Welcome back to AmbitionZ VapeR, guys. What up? So I got a review for you on an RTA from Vandy Vape. It's on the Kensei RTA. The Kensei RTA was sent to me from Vandy Vape for the purpose of this review. Thank you very much. Will not change my opinion of this RTA. Yes, this is a Kensei RTA. I'm going to give you the meaning and everything down low. It's basically a Master Swordsman. Holds 2 mLs or 4 mLs. 4 mLs with a bubble tank. Top fill. Very unique build deck on this. Okay? Very unique build deck. It's got juice flow control. It's for a dual coil. Okay? And it also comes with a resin drip tip. Comes in 5 colors. Matte black, stainless steel, gold, rainbow, and blue. Alright, I got the stainless steel version. What we're going to do in this review, guys, we're going to dive down to the table. I'm going to show it to you, break it apart, put a build in it, wick it up, give you all the specs, then we'll come back up top, vape on it, talk on it, pros and cons, final thoughts, like usual. So, let's go do it. See you in a minute. So we were at the close-up. Here is the package that the Kensei RTA by Vandy Vape comes in. Kensei stands for, it's pronounced Kensei, okay? It stands for a Master Swordsman, was an honorary title given to a warrior of legendary skill in swordsmanship. The literal translation of Kensei is sword saint. This is not to be confused with the word Kenshi, meaning swordsman, fencer, okay? Master Swordsman. Okay, so this is kind of like saying like maybe a master designer or manufacturer of the vape industry. It's a good name. I like Japanese and Chinese style, their culture. I love their culture, and I like how they went with the word Kensei. Your package, it will definitely come in something different. This is just the reviewer's packaging. Okay, so you're going to open it up, and you're going to get your Kensei RTA. I just cleaned it. And you're going to get some additionals. Inside you will get additional bubble glass piece to make it into a 4 ml capacity without extending the length from coil to mouth ratio, which I love how they added this in there. Goon drip tip that has like that dark style just knurlings on it. Okay, this is a Goon drip tip. And you would get a bag of additional O-rings, a 510 adapter, an Allen key, gold-plated Allen key grub screws. And then you'll get some other O-rings, and you'll get this tool that we will discuss in a little bit. All right, so plenty of additional accessories. It's good that they give you Allen keys because Phillips heads do come on the RTA itself. And here is the Kensei RTA. All right, don't mind the bubble. We'll take a look at that in a second. The stainless steel comes with like maybe a blue and black. Looks like the matte black's going to come with a red. The gold's going to come with like a yellow-green. The rainbow's going to come with a green. And the blue's going to come with a lighter blue drip tip like this one. All right, so I really like how they give you this. It's in there really snug. Okay, this is a resin drip tip. That's the reason why. It doesn't feel the same as an acrylic drip tip. If I take an acrylic drip tip, like a Half Moon Mods drip tip, okay, if I can get it to focus, Jesus, there is a different texture and feel of these two, okay? There is definitely a different type of feel, but it is a Goon drip tip, and I love how it came with it, okay? So that's, I'm going to mention that as a big pro. It is different from acrylic, though. It just feels a little different. It's hard to explain. You really have to touch it to know. Then before we put it in, it does say Vandy Vape up top. And it does have a nice black O-ring inside of the top cap. Okay. Then you can just take your nice drip tip and pop it in there. Once it's lubed up a little bit, it loosens up very nicely. It is going to say Kensei on the front in a nice lettering. Now, you do have juice flow controls on this one. And the top fill, this is a really, really snug top fill. I mean, lubed up or not, it doesn't really change. Those are your juice flow control channels. I mean, your juice fill channels, okay? Your filling channels. And there's not too many threads on this one. The threads are on the inside versus the outside. You know, it's a little different. So the threads are on the inside of this versus the outside of it. So you just take it and you put it on and you're good to go. Now, moving down, you do have a juice flow control. Okay, you can adjust it if you want. And then you have the airflow. It stops, doesn't continuously spin. Let me get that all the way on. Okay, whatever you do to that side, it will do it to the other side. It does say Kensei RTA sample. You have a gold-plated 510 pin that is protruding. I love how Vandy Vape puts the peak insulator above the threads. This is perfectly safe for a hybrid. Stefan Z, signature on there. He is designer of Vandy Vape and the owner, well, the designer of Vandy Vape or the owner of Vandy Vape. He used to work for Geek Vape, if you guys didn't know that. And it says designed and manufactured by Vandy Vape. To get to the deck, you're just going to screw that. We'll look at the deck in a second. You have a nice conical design in there. Okay. Good threads. All right. And here is the deck. So, yeah, it's like the Icon or it's like the Recoil RTA or the Rebel Recoil RTA. Those might have been different, but, you know, you get the drift, right? The outside post holes are higher than the inner post holes. You have Phillips head screws on this one. Then you have your your wicking channels, one on that side, one on the other side, and then it has honeycomb airflow. So let's change the angle. Let me take out these coils and let's get a closer look. This is 24.5 millimeters in diameter. With the top screwed on, it is going to be 38.7 millimeters tall. So it's not really a super tall RTA. Just want to mention that as well. Now, we have the post holes. The bottom ones are lower than the outside. That's good to let the lead get out of the way for the cotton to get into the channel. It's all gold plated. I like how they did this. It kind of looks a little Japanese in a way, if you ask me, like the top of their hats that they wear as a swordsman. Maybe that's why they called it that. Anywho, you have gold plated Phillips head screws and Allen keys in the box. These are your wicking channels, okay? And then it has honeycombed airflow. It's got honeycombed airflow, okay, as you can see. So this is going to make smooth airflow when you have more smaller holes, like on the Bonza RTA by Vape Bogan. The smaller amount of holes and more of them is going to smooth out the airflow. It doesn't really prevent leaking, but we're going to do a build. I'm just going to put the coils that I just had in there over, and then we'll wick it up, and I'll show you how I wick it because it is very important. Like I'm showing you, you want to have these coils as close as you can to the airflow. So those are looking pretty good. In this review, I'm going to use some loaded cookie butter. Now that's what I like to do. I like to flatten it out like a pancake. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this glass off, and that's what that tool is for. You put it on both sides. See that? One on each side to spin this off. It's going to be lefty-loosey. Very handy. This is going to come in handy to a lot of atomizers. I think I think Vandy Vape just changed the game with this little tool. I mean, awesome. I mean, this thing just comes right off. Get the bubble glass, clear O-ring, and you're gonna put it on that. So that sits in. And you're just gonna tighten that up. Take that piece again, and now you're gonna get it on the opposite side. So you can tighten it up. See how I'm doing that? And then you have a bubble. Back from the close-up on the Kensei RTA by Vandy Vape. It's 24.5 millimeters in diameter, so it's not 24, it's not 25. It should look good on a majority of box mods. I have it on top of the Basilisk resin by Stentorian VapeR. I thought it matched really nice for the drip tip, as you can see. Alright, I got the bubble tank on there, 4 ml capacity. How do I feel about it? Let's go over a couple cons first. Con number 1, the juice flow control. It's way too loose. It's way too loose. It's too easy to adjust the juice flow control. I wish that was a tighter tolerance. Okay, that's con number 1. Con number 2 is it does leak from where the tank screws onto the deck because it's too loose. The way it's loose when the juice flow control is fully open. So there's a little bit of wiggle room. I wish they had it so when you tighten it all the way down, it had the juice flow controls wide open. And then you could pull it back a little bit if you wanted to close off the juice flow control. But I kind of wish it didn't have juice flow control like all together. I don't think a dual coil RTA really needs juice flow control. So that whole thing doesn't really work that well, and I don't really like it. Okay, so that's kind of a big con. Con number 3 is the top cap. The top cap is super tight. When juice gets on it, when juice wasn't on it, it doesn't matter. It's a super, super tight fit. You have to use 2 hands. You have to hold the tank, and then you really have to, it takes a lot of force to loosen it to fill it. So that's not really convenient. It's really difficult. It's not super difficult, but it's too tight. When you go to adjust the airflow control on the bottom, that's a tight tolerance. And the juice flow control, when you're when you're opening or closing the airflow, the juice flow control moves as well, and it loosens, and then there's e-liquid around the bottom. I have to constantly do this, constantly get the excess juice coming from where the tank meets the deck. Wicking on this, you really have to be on point when you're wicking on it. You want a lot, you want as little as cotton as possible, specifically on this one. You really want just a little bit of cotton. Thin out your cotton a lot more than you think and make them nice and short and then have them so they just sit in there comfortably. You don't want to choke it off. Even a little bit, you get dry hit. I get a little leaking on this. I do. It's going to leak. It's bottom airflow, you know. It's going to leak. But how about some pros? Let's go over some pros on it. Well, it's a 0.14 ohm build. It's showing up as a 0.12. 115 watts. I got that loaded e-liquid inside. I don't have the bottle near me. Let's have vape. Smooth airflow. Very, very smooth airflow. Big pro on the airflow. I love how they did the airflow. The honeycomb airflow works really well. Nice and smooth. Nice and swooshy. Big pro on that. Resin 810 drip tip that it comes with. Big pro. Companies are starting to get that. Vandy Vape's one of the first on their own as a company, not a YouTube reviewer putting out a product, that actually put a nice colored drip tip on there. Big pro. 510 adapter, another Delrin 810 drip tip as well. That's a pro. Plenty of additional accessories. Comes with a bubble tank. Huge pro. The bubble tank holds 4 mLs. The regular one holds 2 mLs. So for Europeans that have a 2 ml TPD edition, they got you covered. Somebody that wants more e-liquid capacity but doesn't want the drip tip in the coils farther away from the mouth because it affects flavor and performance, it's not going to because of the bubble tank. I need to mention that as a big pro. Gold-plated deck, Phillips head screws inside of it, and then Allen key grub screws gold-plated that come with it. Big pro. O-rings, pro. Allen key, and then it gives you that tool. Dude, that tool is a game changer. Vandy Vape, I got to give you guys a big up for adding that tool to take the glass off. I'm going to use that on every single RTA that it will fit, because that is a game changer. I think all RTAs should come with that. Big pro. It's a small attention to detail, but it is so easy to take the glass off to change the glass. Outside post holes are higher than the bottom, so the lead's going to be out of the way for the cotton. I like it. It's an RDA deck in an RTA. I really, really like the deck on this. I don't have any issues with the screws stripping, but I don't know over time. You know, it takes time to really tell that. A couple months, a lot of builds. I've only done like 3 builds in this, so you know, who really knows? But I think you'll probably be good because Vandy Vape is pretty good on manufacturing and machining. Vape production's awesome. Airflow's smooth as a baby's ass. Flavor on this is up there. This has got really good flavor for an RTA. It does. And I love how it holds 4 mLs in your mouth super close. I love the bubble tank. Let me close down the airflow to show you halfway. Let's do halfway. Little whistling halfway. If I close it down more, it whistles, dude. It whistles, man. I'm super surprised that this thing whistled on when you close it down. It whistles. So that's a con as well. But if you like the airflow wide open, it is a little restrictive. It is a nice draw. It kind of reminds me of, like, let's say the Dead Rabbit draw. It's in that vicinity, which I really like. Yeah, you can find the Kensei RTA at vandyvape.com, and I'll also put myvpro.com, link on screen and in the description. And the price point on this bad boy is $44.99. 45 bucks. It is a little bit more pricey. I think that's because of all the accessories that they gave you with it, the resin drip tip, the bubbled glass, maybe a little bit more, I don't know, gold plating and innovation on the deck. But there is some cons to it. I don't know if it's just mine. I'm hoping it's just mine for the sake of you guys, because if it wasn't for the tank leaking where the tank meets the deck, that juiceful control thing is really screwed up. They really need to fix that. But if all of them, check out some other reviews. If they don't mention it, or you notice that it's a tighter tolerance, then you're good to go. But it leaks from there, It's really loose there. It's really tight on the fill port. There's some cons to it. You know what I mean? Overall, I mean, I'd recommend it. Okay, I would recommend it because it's a good vape. It's a good performance, but there is some cons to it. There's some more cons, in my opinion, on this than other RTAs. But there's also a lot more pros on this, some other RTAs. Like I mentioned, the drip tip, the bubble tank, you know, the piece. I know that doesn't justify $45, but, you know, I'm just giving you the pros and cons, baby. That's my job, and I'm doing it. If a mugger stole my book bag and I was on a train and this was in it, you know, I would. I mean, a little leaking, a lot of RTAs leak. I love the bubble tank. You know, I really like the drip tip. I like the performance. I like the flavor off of it. Flavor on this, on an RTA, 1 to 10, probably going to give it about an 8.5 to a 9. It's got really good flavor. The Reload RTA still, I think, has better flavor, obviously. That one's $75. You know what I mean? That's what I got for you today, squad. I hope you found the video helpful, informative. You gained something out of this. Consider subscribing. It's free. Content daily, 1080p, 60 frames a second. Don't waste your motherfucking bandwidth not being subscribed to the channel. Alright? I'll catch you guys on the next one. Stay juiced up. Peace. Almost forgot. The loaded cookie butter e-liquid. I'll put a link in the description to that. It's good. It doesn't have any peanut butter in it. It just tastes like the loaded base. Remember the loaded donut, the loaded, you know, line? It's just got that base. I kind of just taste the base and a little bit of cookie, but I get no peanut butter. You know, I think there's supposed to be peanut butter in it. It's good though. I like it. I recommend it. It's not my favorite, but I recommend it. And I almost forgot again. That, what is it called? The money gun. The money gun up there. I'll put a link in the description where you can pick one of those up. I guess it's supposed to be like, you know, throwing dollars at a stripper or something. It's funny. You know, the other ones have like Supreme on the side. But, yeah, Heaven Gift sent me that, man. I thought it was pretty funny, so I threw some $20 bills in there. Actual money, okay? Actual money. I threw actual money in there. Wasn't like fake money or anything. It was supposed to come with real money, but it didn't. It was supposed to come with like fake $100 bills. It didn't come in any, so I had to throw actual money in it to do that. I thought it was funny, though, but I'm out of here, man. Peace. Really, this time, really.